Welcome back to Kerbin Independent Space Solutions. So, business is going good. We've been solving some people's problems. I did a couple things off camera because they were boring. One of the things was some company, I didn't write down who, so I don't know, wanted us to test a landing gear in orbit, and they were willing to pay us a bunch of science, which I needed almost exactly that amount to unlock a couple things I wanted to unlock before we did our next mission. And that would have been really boring to watch me just shoot a small rocket into orbit and then test landing gear and come back down, so I just did it without showing you. And that allowed us to pick up, well, we'd already picked up, which one was it? Specialized construction, I believe, to get docking ports. And then I also wanted RCS, so we got advanced flight control, and I wanted some these things, solar panels, the beginning solar panels and better batteries, so we don't run out of power up there. I also went ahead and planted a flag at the space station, so that way when we come in for our landing with our trajectories mod, we will hopefully be able to land closer to Kerbin than we have before. And speaking of our next mission, we are going to go land on Duna. It's the last thing we need to complete our contract, and this is hopefully the rocket that will take us there. Quite a big rocket, probably unnecessary. You can see we got fuel lines doing something a little bit different than what we've done in the past. So what's actually going to happen is this side, this rocket's going to feed into this one, and then this one's going to feed into this one, and then this one's going to feed in the center, and the other is the same way. So what'll happen is we'll be able to slowly drop off rockets and drop weight as we go up. Hopefully this doesn't cause some instability issues. It could, but I don't think it will. As you can see here, we get a little bit worrisome around this point, stage 5 here, when we have a lower thrust to weight ratio than 1. But I firmly believe that with all of this delta V down here at the bottom, we will make it into orbit before we get there. Now, you can see we have our RCS and our solar panels down here and also up here on our lander stage. I probably should have put an RCS fuel tank down here, but I didn't. There was something else I wanted to add to this that I forgot about, and it was, yeah, a communication device, which can go, I guess right here. I don't really have anywhere. Oh, I can put it down here. Oh, I already have one on there. Never mind, I did put one on. So, you can see there's a docking port, a shielded docking port on the top here, and you can't really see it, but there's also a docking port right here, so with some batteries underneath it. So what will hopefully happen is we'll get this whole thing up into Duna's orbit, and then we'll be able to detach the lander, come down for a landing, come back up. Hopefully this thing will still have some fuel left. We will dock with it, and then go back, have that help us get back to Kerbin at least a little bit. And if we end up having to just toss it away because it doesn't have enough left, that's fine too. Or maybe we'll just leave it in orbit around Duna, and we can send something back up later to refuel it and use it as sort of a launch point where we can fly out there and dock this thing to it and take off. We can just take a much smaller craft to Duna with the intent of just refueling when we get there. Before we head out, though, we want to check and see if there's maybe some multiple missions we can pick up, because I believe there is. So there's somebody, Reaction Systems Ltd. They would like us to get science data, and we're going around Duna. We're going to Duna anyways, so we might as well do that while we're going. And then we also have Jeb's Junkyard. Would like us to plant a flag on Duna for them, and we might as well do that too, since we're going up there anyways, and we're going to do that either way. And it looks like that's probably about all that we're going to get out of this. One thing you might have noticed too is, if we look here, we have these bigger tanks that we could use. and those would be great, and I would use them, but they're expensive, and we're not ready for that yet. Yeah, we want to get a little bit more money in our pocket. This rocket alone is costing us 70,000 Kerbucks out of our 403,000 we have available. So we're just going to go with this. Let's launch it and see what happens, as my motto goes. I also have an advanced stabilizer in the top too, which will hopefully help keep us stable in our flight. So everything looks good, nothing's falling apart right off the bat. This thing's rather tall, it's probably going to be bulky and hard to control. Hopefully the fins will help. And the gimballing engine. I don't know why. Oh, I forgot to talk about another mod we had. We probably shouldn't take off yet. I downloaded the transfer window planner. So we can figure out exactly when we should take off. So let's say we want this to not be up to 453 days because I don't want to take that long. We'll plot it. And we get all our information here, and this colored map up here shows the efficiency. So this dark blue section is going to be the most efficient, and then with, you know, requiring 2068 delta V to get out of the, well, actually that's ejecting from Kerbin and inserting into Duna. And you can see down here, if we wanted to do it in that much time, that's at that departure date, it would take more than is probably possible to launch up into the sky. So we actually have quite a little while before this thing's going to be ready to take off. Oh, and this is nice too. It lets us add an alarm directly into it, which I already had set up. And it gives us an hour lead time. So we will just time accelerate till we get to that point. We could just go off and do other missions. Oh, you know what else I want to do? Hold on. Let's not launch this thing yet. You know, Jebediah has been stealing all the thunder. And we don't want him to steal all the thunder. So we are actually going to put somebody else in there. John Z. Kerman. He's been good for us. So let's see what he can do. Did I just do the wrong thing? Did I not put a ship out there? Oh god, this is a mess. Okay, now we're good. But we still have a long time before we're going to be launching this thing. So we'll just watch the days go by rather slowly. This is actually going to take quite a while. We will cut the video here while we wait. And we will talk about the awesome shredded beef that I'm making tonight. This is making me a little bit nauseous watching that go back and forth. This is incredibly inefficient. We probably should have just done something else in between, since it was going to take so long. I could have launched and then waited, but you know what? That feels like, you know, putting Johnsy up into space for a year just floating around Kerbin doesn't sound like a very nice thing to do. So hopefully that is still up. That's the wrong one. So we actually messed this up a little bit. Now I don't know what my ejection angle is supposed to be. 179.42 is probably about right. I haven't really played with this a whole lot. Alright, we're counting down. We're under a year away from our launch as we sit on the launch pad and Johnsy just waits patiently. We're certainly feeding him as we go. Watch the planets sort of rotate around. So we'll probably end up about right here when it's done. Are we doing a whole nother... this is weird. I don't know exactly how it's calculating this. That's why I downloaded it, is because I don't know how to calculate it myself very well. So and we'll still have to wait a little bit longer. As you can see, we got 20. Oh, we actually have 24 hours margin there. So we'll take off and we'll set the alarm back to give us like a 1 hour margins. That way we know. And we'll set it to give us a even less of a margin until we get down to like a minute and we launch. All right. So now we will do our launch. Off we go to Duna. Looking quite stable so far, that's good, but we haven't really got up to speed. We haven't blown off those first engines, which is going to be the real test, to see what happens when that happens. Can I not... Oh, it gives me all my information right here. So we got till day 6, 167, or year 6, day 167. That's the arrive at. 393. So this is what I'm worried about. Because now that I've dumped those two, I got this kind of... Well, I guess that's fine. We are cruising up rather slow. I really hope we're able to get enough speed to make it all the way up. This rocket is very expensive to just bring back down. I'm also hoping that it's not incredibly hard to turn over, which we got to get ready to do here soon. Alright, this isn't too bad. It's pretty controllable. Oh god, that could have been bad. I think we're okay though. I don't think anything important broke off. Alright. Everybody just needs to calm down. We are getting up there pretty steeply and in a hurry. So we're actually going, I mean, we're almost at our apoapsis already, and we're only at 19,000. I don't think I did this right. I think I turned too much too early with how heavy this craft is. We have almost no vertical speed. Like it's 12 meters per second of vertical speed. This is not going to work. I don't think a boarding is necessary, though. This is just a horribly inefficient launch. It'll be fine. No, it won't. Yeah, I don't think this is good. We spent way more Delta V than we should have just getting into orbit. And we're not even in orbit. I don't know where things went wrong. I guess if anything, we'll at least just try to get into orbit, detach the lander to test that, and then come back down with just the lander, do some science, or we'll do something. And then maybe we'll even build a smaller craft to send up with the intent of docking a new lander with this, and then using this to propulse us the rest of the way. Like, are we even... We're not even going up anymore, we're just coming down. I think we didn't get enough vertical velocity. I don't know if we still have enough fuel to maybe go up more. Or if we could possibly get enough horizontal velocity. The problem is that we're slowing down. Let's just burn prograde and see how fast we can get going. This is clearly a failed mission. Pilot error, obviously. But it's okay, we're gonna go in, maybe retool it a little bit, not much. And see if we can't... Yeah, this is actually worrying me slightly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to decouple here and just dump that. We're just going to call this a failure. We're going to blow our parachutes open. The problem is we're also going to land on the ocean, which is not good for what we wanted to do. So we had our first failed launch. At least get a little bit of science out of this. This is going to cost us a heck of a lot of money for nothing. Because most of this is just going to break off. And we can't recover this part we just dropped. So, it is what it is. Hopefully we can just touch down in the ocean just soft enough to keep everything intact. And then we'll try again. Maybe modify the ship a little bit. RCS really doesn't do much. On Kerbin does it. So be real careful when burning with your chutes open, because you can most definitely well, nothing. Johnsy made it, but our science did not, and a bunch of other stuff didn't. So this is going to be pretty much a useless launch. So let's talk about what went wrong there. We didn't have enough vertical speed when we started our turn. So we have to alleviate that problem. And how are we going to do that? I don't see why this thing wouldn't be able to get us into space. I've done dumber things. Alright, and then just a little 16 times speed as we go into orbit. I'm watching this because you've seen me go launch into orbit enough now that you're going to spend another 10 minutes watching me fly another craft into orbit successfully this time as opposed to unsuccessfully. So just speed it up, see what's going on. Everything's going smoothly, much smoother than the first attempt at this rocket. And then after we get into orbit, we'll see about going on a transfer burn to Duna. So that's the burn we're going to do. To get to Duna. Keep an eye on that monopropellant. I don't want to completely run out. I know I have a ton, but never know. So this is going to take 1,000 delta V. We only have 456 left on this. Then we go to a smaller engine. So we are actually going to have to do this a little bit early. Also a very long burn, so we might start like a minute ahead of time. Just to make sure that we don't miss it. All right. That's a very long burn. Off we go. On probably one of the more dangerous missions I've been on. As if orbiting it wasn't enough, now we're going to go and try to land for the first time ever. Holy crap. I hope this doesn't mess up my plans. This is a very long burn. We might end up having to make some corrections in order to actually catch it, since we're so far off. All right. So as we go out, this will start expanding pretty quickly as we get closer and closer to our target speed. Which is probably way more than what we needed. I have to figure out this whole transfer calculator thing and how to best use it. But I have such a small engine on such a big rocket right now that since we're in space, it's it's actually it's more efficient but the burns take so long that I'm not used to it, and this could end up causing us problems in the near future. But it'll be fine. Famous last words of mine. Alright, we're almost there. But I don't think we're going to intersect the planet here. I think we took way too long to do the burn. We're probably going to come in at some stupid angle. Alright, I just missed it. Just slow her down a tiny little bit. And we were coming sort of over Duna. I just want to make sure that we're not going to be coming like way over top of it like usually, and it kind of looks like we are. We're going to be coming above it a bit, so I'm going to try to drop our orbit somewhere. Farther back the better. Let's make a few tiny little corrections. Actually, you know what? Forget that. We are just going to see if we can't do it manually. I guess I should at least put up a node so it gives me some indication of where anti-normal is. Is that what those are called? Normal and anti-normal? Oh, there's a better way to see, look, I'm coming way above it. The reason I don't want to come above it is even though I'm landing, I want to be able to rendezvous with this craft if I still have fuel left. I want to put this whole thing into orbit and then be able to get back up and catch it easily. And use it to bring me back as well, hopefully. But I think that's pretty good. It doesn't look like we're coming in way above it anymore. It kind of looks like we're working right around it. So we will set an alarm for our sphere of influence change. And then we will enjoy the space again. Which apparently I got there like super quick. Although I'm not, because I'm all the way back there. Oh, that was a sphere of influence change to the sun, wasn't it? To Kerbal. You know what I want to do though? I want to turn RCS off. We'll turn SAS off so I don't run out of power or anything. I've already used quite a bit amount of propellant. Oh, we did come underneath of it again. God damn it. That's not what I wanted. This is fine. We fixed this before. Do not want to land on it yet. Alright. We'll just get this maneuver node right, and then we'll move along. So we definitely want to slow down. How much would it cost us to slow down into an orbit? Okay. So that's 887. Then we kind of want to adjust these things to try to get it a little bit. Not quite as crazy, which all we're doing is making it more crazy. Okay, we'll just slow down enough to orbit. Large orbit. And then we'll adjust from there. Hopefully bring this whole thing into a somewhat stable orbit at about 100 kilometers up. Okay, hold on 1 minute while we wait because my wife is calling me for some reason. Alright, we are back. Sorry about the interruption. So I think this is going to be fine. Still leaves us with 1200 DV to make these corrections. It's a 3-minute burn. So we're actually going to have to start burning significantly early. God, this thing's way too big. It takes too much fuel to do anything. Or too much time, I should say. So I gotta figure out why I keep on coming like underneath the planet too, like an idiot. Alright, there's our transfer over to Duna. Check back for the next video to see us finish getting into orbit and come down for a landing with this beautiful craft. Thanks, bye.